Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. What were Cloud Imperium games working on during September beyond Star Citizen Alpha 3.18? What features, gameplay and points of interest have just been completed or are moving on to another phase? We're going to be delving into the Star Citizen roadmap and what was completed on it according to the progress tracker. Please bear in mind that most of these features will require additional work before being put into a live patch. They are often part of larger systems, but they do at least indicate where Cloud Imperium's focus on features is, and at the very least indicate major work has been completed for an individual work sprint. So let's take a look at what Cloud Imperium have been doing. There was an AR and map marker system rework. So this is to get it working and updated for the building block system. There's also a map and radar system rework with an overhaul of underlying systems and associated UI for the star map, radar, local area map, and mini-map. That is pretty awesome, because we are expecting to see a star map update along with these new features added in the persistent universe during 2023. And they're mentioning there that there's going to be updates to the star map, which is in dire need of an update. It's too fiddly. There's a load of much more sort of functionality that they could put in with that. Local area maps, mini maps, that would make the game so much easier to navigate. When showing off some Squadron 42 footage, Cloud Imperium have shown off some of the sort of ideas they had for mini-map and local area maps. We know there's a big focus on FPS scanning and sort of combining all of these systems together. I'm hoping the star map also sees sort of as part of it a Galactopedia, so we can just get like more information on anything we hover over. Bombs saw more work as well. So these systems allow players in certain ships to drop a variety of powerful bombs over targets in atmosphere. We are expecting a variety of sort of gravity bombs, there to be fighter bombers that can be used in some way in space as well, so probably magnetic bombs, things like that, and a big range of different sizes of bombs and choices for customization of ships like the A2 and A1. We also had the first iteration of the new cargo system refactor being completed. So this refactor will allow both found and purchased cargo to be picked up, moved around, and placed into the cargo grid of a ship. It also incorporates the soft destruction system, so ships now have a high chance of not exploding when they're taken out and will instead be permanently disabled, and then they are available for boarding. NPC crews will be killed when the ship sort of gets into this soft destruction state, but if they have a player crew, they will survive. This allows for boarding and is one of the best additions to the game in the short term that we've seen, in my opinion. It also allows for a lot more of this sort of medical and rescue gameplay, because when players, ships get blown up during a mission or during a big fleet battle or whatever, well, they then want rescuing because they're on a ship that is a flaming hulk. This is also the framework, the cargo refactor, to a huge amount more cargo gameplay that is coming later this year, with sort of times and costs associated with loading and unloading cargo. EVA Tier 2 saw completion on a load of its work, so this further improves the EVA experience following the transition to IFCS. So basically it's using the same system that ships uses effectively. It introduces limited EVA fuel and encourages the use of zero-G push and pull and the multi-tool tractor beam to sort of pull yourself along. This is going to make EVA flight a much more sort of tactile and has you like dragging yourself around, but also much more dangerous because you can effectively run out of EVA fuel. Hopefully at some stage we'll get the gravity feature of EVA, which sort of simulates gravity by thrusting you down. So instead of mag boots, you basically have your EVA pack sort of thrusting you downwards to sort of push you against something so it feels like you're walking on it. I think that's still the plan. They completed work on some water and ocean shader stuff, reworking the ocean shader to use more physically accurate refraction and reflection with energy conservation, unifying the feature set with other water shaders and balancing performance between orbital and close-up situations. So you're going to see some water improvements with rivers and lakes. Obviously, we've got loads more rivers and lakes in Alpha 3.18, but those larger bodies of water, oceans, they're going to look a lot better too. The Vault Parallax Energy Assault Rifle saw work completed on it as well. I'm expecting to see these in-game, sort of like in the next major Star Citizen patch after 3.18. Zero-G Push and Pull also saw work completed, so this is really in conjunction with that EVA Tier 2 work that they were doing. Adds the ability for players to traverse surfaces in Zero-G by pushing and pulling with their hands. This will come into play when the player is wearing an EVA suit without thrusters, or if thrusters are turned off. More ways to get you around in the verse, more ways of conserving that EVA fuel if you want. Arena Commander Race Mode Overhaul. So this was a complete overhaul of all systems and maps in Arena Commander's classic race mode, and it includes a complete refactor of the checkpoint entity and race management system, scoring. They're reworking the New Horizons Speedway maps, as well as a new map, the Snake Pit. So yeah, in 3.18, there's a load of new persistent universe points of interest that are races. There's loads of missions for these new race tracks that are in-game. But obviously, there's the Arena Commander mode as well, which is just focused arcade racing, and this has seen big updates too. Now, this is not going to be released in 3.18, but we should see it probably in the next major patch, I would expect. Cloud Imperium like to put a big focus on racing for Star Citizen, it seems, but this is also a way to test a lot of junior devs that are added to the team. It's sort of like the first work they get put on is doing some points of interest, doing some race maps, doing some of these sort of features. And talking about points of interest, they have finished work on additional derelicts and associated points of interest. So this includes sort of adding missions and puzzles and hostile AI and associated sort of gameplay, both in space and planet side. In 3.18, this takes the form of a new little town, like a scrapper junker town that also has a 600i and Mercury Star Runner Rex in, but you can expect to see more and more sort of uses of the Mercury Star Runner and 600i and lots of other ships in the future as derelicts and sort of destroyed points of interest and stuff. But you've got to also remember now that because of that soft destruction system, there's going to be a lot more ship hulks just floating in space of all types now, ready for salvage or boarding. There's outpost variants, so they're adding themed variants to the colonialism outposts, basically expanding out different points of interest around the universe. So themes will range from abandoned, mining, research, and many more. You're going to see these colonialism outposts a lot at Pyro, but they're still using them in the Stanton system. They've got these sort of abandoned and destroyed ones that they're using at the moment. Character art finished some work on Frontier-styled clothing for players and NPCs that will populate the Pyro system, but also more Stanton-styled clothing as well. Satellites. These points of interest saw further work. They're going to populate the game universe. Explorable satellite locations are going to be there for players to visit for missions and to interact with and to search. Some in good health, some destroyed. Let's take a look at engine and tool updates. So physical damage and breakability is something that finished a stack of its work. So making use of the physics engine to create a system that looks and behaves realistically when large objects such as ships are damaged by weaponry or colliding with other ships, locations or planets. Now this is important for the soft destruction system, physical damage, salvage. You want a big old sort of capital ship battle going on with Idris and javelins. Pew, 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 pew. You want them when some of them are destroyed and then shot more. You want big parts of those ships breaking off and potentially those individual parts being operable almost by themselves. Some might still have some form of power or gravity, whereas others are sort of almost entirely exposed to the vacuum of space and largely destroyed. I'd expect this to tie into the resource management system that Cloud Imperium are doing and just sort of general ship combat gameplay. But also, I don't want ramming, bam, to be just like, and you're dead, we're both dead, and one of us is dead. I want shields to largely sort of deflect rammers, and, well, you, as a ship that is ramming, should not be as powerful as munitions that's job is to blow up other things. I should go on a rant about ramming on a video, actually, because I think there's a lot to talk about with that. The Tier 1 Gen 12 renderer saw major work completed. Now, there's still a bit of a road to go with them optimizing it and getting it into a great state, and there's like a load more updates they'll want to do to it, but this is new rendering architecture to improve performance for the game. This milestone renders every scene object through the new renderer with optimizations and additional features such as Vulkan coming in the future. So 3.18 sees the implementation of this Tier 1 version of the Gen 12 renderer, and Vulkan support is going to be in our hands very soon. potentially sort of like Q2 of this year. And this initial sort of step with the Gen 12 renderer, it's going to help solve CPU bottlenecking. So if you weren't CPU bottlenecking before, you might get a few extra frames and some other little tweaks and optimizations, but it's mainly just going to give frame rate improvements to those people that were CPU bottlenecking. We've got rope simulation stuff that was finished as well. So this is to extend the simulation algorithm of ropes to support ropes interacting with pulleys and improve general stability to enable the development of new gameplay mechanics. They want ropes and cloth and things to all interact and to be part of puzzles and the game to look awesome, and that's what that's all about. Various tools and optimizations for designers were completed too, being able to sort of better interact with entities and change their properties, for example. There's some level of detail optimizations. Hex, the tool there, allowing for real-time data manipulation, was improved. Quality of life improvements were made to star words. The text localization tool. The subsumption editor is available from in-engine, things like that. Lots of little improvements which all add up to some massive time savers. Some AI stuff was completed as well. We know that AI is big on the list of things that Cloud Imperium want to improve for 2023. So we saw some completed work on AI untrained combat and AI vehicle perception. So the first iteration for untrained characters, such as civilians, to react in battle scenarios. This is AI untrained combat. Civilian AI will be able to use weapons to defend themselves in threatening situations and will try to preserve their lives using cover or surrendering when necessary. Yes, so garroting citizens running around. We do know that they want to remove green zones in a lot of areas, so you will be able to draw your pistols and stuff like that, and they want more AI interacting with us in structures and on planet surfaces, because they can now do that. So AI vehicle perception, this feature will give AI the ability to both perceive and detect vehicles from the ground, as well as select ground-based targets when piloting their own, using both vision and radar. So you want AI to be able to drive sort of vehicles on the ground. You want ground vehicles to have a lot more function and use and actually be used in combat a lot more. Well, this is a big step towards that. You can expect a lot of missions that spawn on planets and stuff to make very good use of AI vehicles in the future, because they can just go, bam, let's place a load of ballista and other Atlas vehicles everywhere, and then just say, well, this is an enemy mobile base, and you can sort of defend outposts with them and stuff like that. So really looking forward to that. I want a load of ground targets to shoot with my ship when I'm sort of flying into a mission area. Boom, that's it for my update this time. That was all of the work that I saw on the progress tracker that was basically completed, or at least was expecting to be completed, in December 2022. So really looking forward to a lot of that being implemented this year. I think for me, it's really anything to do with Starmap and Minimap updates that would make the game so much better. Like, would really allow me to traverse the verse better. Hopefully we'll be able to save locational data and jump to sort of waypoints that other people have set as well. Oh, that would just be absolutely superb. But what do you think? Are you looking forward to Starmap updates, Minimap updates? Do you think that's something we're going to see next year, or it's going to get inevitably delayed? Are you excited about more sort of physical damage and breakability of these larger ships and how that's going to improve these giant fleet battles? What features are you expecting to see actually implemented in game throughout 2023? Do you think Cloud Imperium will be able to get Alpha 4.0 with pyro and jump points and server meshing all out by the end of the year? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. It's a new year, time for resolutions, a brighter future. I'll make myself better each day. Or I could just stay at home and play computer games. But what if someone steals my house or bank while I'm otherwise preoccupied on the internet? NordVPN.com/BoredGamer. It's probably the best VPN deal of 2023 already. Not only does it provide security, anonymity, and accessibility on the interwebs, but I haven't heard of anyone with NordVPN having their house stolen. Thanks, NordVPN. Now no one will know what type of degenerate anime I watch. Get NordVPN, you filthy animal. You deserve it. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For January, we are giving away an Argo Raft, the reinforced advanced freight transport ship, a dedicated cargo hauler that should see some additional gameplay in 2023. This also comes with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, then please consider becoming a YouTube member with the join button under my videos. You could even become a Patreon. There's links below to that. But liking, subscribing, commenting goes a huge way to help the channel grow. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.